What's up, geometry students? Mr. Global coming to you today virtually. Wish I could be there with you guys, but unfortunately, am out today. These things happen. Um, so recorded a video. We are finishing up the second half of chapter 1.5 today. All right, so if you haven't already, go ahead and get out your notes packets. I'll yap for a couple more seconds while you're doing that. So yesterday, we introduced angles for the first time, naming them, measuring them, right? The different kinds, acute, obtuse, right, straight. And so we're going to continue those thoughts, continue talking about angles. A lot of what we're talking about today has to do with adding and subtracting angles. All right. So we're going to work through the second half of this section. Should finish up with some time at the end so you can get started on your homework, most likely online, but you can always double check Google Classroom, double check there to see exactly what the assignment is, but it is most likely online big ideas. Okay. So, without further ado, let's get into this. The angle addition postulate. Look, sounds fancy. Here's the gist of it. If you have two small angles that are right next to each other, we can add them together to get a bigger angle. Two small angles together makes a big angle. All right. So I'm going to name these angles we're looking at here. The biggest angle, the whole thing, is angle RST. So I'm going to say the measure of angle RST. By the way, this little m right here, this stands for measure. So it's like how many degrees is RST? 40 degrees, 50 degrees, 60 degrees? I don't know. However many degrees it is, we can break it down into two smaller angles. One of the angles will be, I'm doing it in red here, the measure of angle RSP. All right. And then the angle right next to it that we're going to add to it is the measure of angle PST. So the big angle breaks down into the two smaller angles together, added gives us the whole. All right. So we're going to apply this with some actual numbers and see how we can either add or subtract the angles to get the whole thing or maybe a piece of the whole. Okay. So what are they asking for here? They are asking for RQP, the measurement of RQP. If measure of angle LQP is 152, let's label that first of all. LQP is 152. So LQP, 152 degrees. RQL is 26. Find that one. RQL right next to it, 26 degrees. And what they're asking for here is RQP, the measure of angle RQP. And notice RQP, R to Q to P, that is the whole angle there. That's what we're trying to find. Well, RQP is made up of the two smaller pieces. RQP is made up of 152 plus the 26. Together, that makes 178 degrees. RQP is 178 degrees, almost 180, right? 180 is a straight line. This is just a few degrees shy of that, right? And that's it. Let's look at the next one. Trying to find JTU. STU is 63. The measure of angle STU is 63. Let's find that angle. STU, okay? S to T to U. Notice that is the entire angle. Is a oh no, 63 degrees. 63 degrees. STJ is 42. S to T to J, 42 degrees. All right. And the angle that we're trying to find here is JTU. JTU. So the measure of angle JTU. Well, if I was there in person, I'd say in the first problem we did, we added the two numbers together. This time we're going to do something a little different. We're actually going to subtract. And I would say, I'd pause for a second and say, why do you think we're subtracting here, whereas we added in the first one? I mean, even now, just pause, think about it. I'm watching. Are you thinking about it? Yes. Good. I can tell you're thinking about it. Right? In this case, JTU is it's part of the whole, right? Before we were trying to find the whole. This time we already have the whole. It's 63 degrees. We're just trying to find a piece of the whole. And so, anyways, if you subtract those, you get 21 degrees. All right. So far, so good. Ooh, last one to do together. We're throwing some algebra in here. Okay, you know it. What are we labeling here? LKN is 145. Let's find that. LKN. That is the entire angle here, 145 degrees. Notice they gave me expressions for the two smaller angles. This one in green here, 2x plus 10. This one in pink, 4x minus 3. Okay. So the whole thing, 145, equals the two smaller pieces added together. 2x plus 10 plus 4x minus 3. The whole thing equals the two smaller pieces added together. If you can get this far, the rest of this is now algebra. We're going to combine some like terms, solve for x. Sound good? So 145, that's 145. I'm going to combine these two guys here. 2x plus 4x, that makes a 6x. 10 minus 3 gives us 7. All right. Now we're just solving for x, right? Minus 7, that's 138 equals 6x. Divide by 6. X equals, probably need a calculator for that. End up with 23 for x. Nice, nice, nice. I am not done yet, though. Why? Because the question, you double check the directions, they didn't say to solve for x. They said find the measurements of these two other angles, right? Let me draw a line off to the side here. I need to get measure of angle LKM. Once again, if I was here in person, I'd be like, wait a second. I feel like we did something kind of similar to this maybe a week or two ago with the segments. We solved for X, and then what did we do with that number again? We take it and send it on a one-way trip back over to plug it back in. LKM was 2x plus 10. So I'm going to go 2 times 23 plus 10. That is 46 plus 10, 56 degrees. And then the other one, the pink one, that one was MKN, 4 times 23 minus 3. That comes out to be, let's see, what is that? 12. Shoot, I don't have my calculator on hand. 12, carry the 1, 8, 92 minus 3, 89 degrees. There we go. 56 and 89. Those are the two angle measures we got. And just double checking, if you added those two together, you know what I'm going to get? I'm going to get the 145 that we saw earlier, right? 56 plus 89 is going to equal 145. Yes. That means I did it right. Okay. With that in mind, why don't I give you guys some time to work on A, B, and C? Okay. A couple minutes here. The first two are just adding and subtracting. You decide which ones. The third one's going to involve some algebra. Okay. So I'm going to set a timer. I'm going to disappear. Ooh. And then I'll come back in a couple minutes and let you guys, we'll check the answers together. Okay. So let me do that. And we are back, everybody. Sounds good. Let's see what we got going here. All right, so the first one, PQR, this is one where we're going to add the two angles because they're asking for the whole thing. 75 and 42 makes 117. In that second one there, excuse me, they were asking for a part of the whole, not the whole thing. The whole thing's 127. So we subtracted the other part, get the 95, 127 minus 32. And then here's our buddy with the algebra. Whole thing is 102. We got to add together the 7x minus 5, the 9x plus 11. Combine these like terms, 7x, 9x, that makes a 16x. Negative 5 and 11 adds to positive 6. Subtract 6, divide by 16. 96 divided by 16 is 6. Take that 6, plug it back in. That's what you can see going on over on the right side here. Plug in 6 to each one of those two expressions. You're going to get 65 degrees. You're going to get 37 degrees. Voila. Voila. Beautiful. Okay. We have a couple more angles to look at here. So given that KLM is a straight angle, find the measurement of the two angles. So pretty similar to what we were working with before. We've got these two expressions. We've got the 10x minus 5, and we also have the 4x plus 3. I'm adding those together. Now, what's different about this one is they didn't tell me what it added up to directly, right? In the last one, they told me it added up to 102. They didn't tell me that here. Or did they? Oh, they did if you were paying close attention. What kind of angle? Ooh, think back to yesterday. Straight angles. Straight line in geometry is 180 degrees. They did tell us. It was just hidden. You had to know what a straight angle was. So let's solve for x here. 180. Combine my like terms. 10x, 4x. That makes a 14x. Negative 5 plus 3. That makes a minus 2. Add a 2 to each side, get 182 equals 14x. And 182 divided by 14 is 13. And we'll take that 13, plug it back in. So let's see. The first one, measure of angle KLN. Which one is that? KLN. That's the first one. 10 times 13 minus 5. Let's see. So that's 130 minus 5, 125. Sweet. And then for measure of angle KL, oh wait, so no, what the other one? NLM. NLM. Tell you what, I don't think I mentioned this earlier. Let's say I'm feeling lazy. I don't want to plug in 13. A faster way I could get the second angle that doesn't involve me plugging it in. All I need to remember is, wait, how much was the whole thing? A straight angle is 180 degrees, right? We just found out the first one was 125. So how much must be left over, right? 180 minus 125. That tells me this must be 75? No, 55. 55 degrees. It's the same thing you would have gotten from plugging in 13. I think it's just a little bit faster, right? You know, the first half is 125, so just take it away from 180. That gives you whatever's left over. All right, go ahead, turn the page here. Why don't I let you guys look at number 2 here? Give this one a shot. Not a straight angle this time. It's a right angle. So that's going to change what we set it equal to. If you don't remember how much a right angle is, you could turn back a page or two, double check in your notes from yesterday. But again, I'm going to pause just for, this is only one question. Just take like a minute or two, maybe 2 minutes, 1 minute, something like that. Go ahead, solve for x, plug it back in, get the measurements of these angles. All right? All right. Coming back now. So let's see here. I'm not quite done yet, right? Don't forget, we still have work to do because what am I missing here? I still need to finish solving for x, right? Or sorry, I still need to finish solving for the measurements, right? We have what x is. We just need to plug it back in. Let's see. Plug it back in, measure, oops, let me get my pen right here. Measure of angle EFH. Let's see, which one is that? EFH, 2x plus 2. So 2 times 29 plus 2. That 60 degrees, yeah. That's 58 plus 2 degrees, 60 degrees. And for the other one, HFG. Again, you can plug in 29 again if you really wanted to, or we know the whole thing's 90 and one of them 60. So what's left over? 90 minus 60. This must just be 30 degrees then. All right. So last thing, bisecting angles. All right. Let's give this a try. What does bisecting mean? Well, bisecting, to bisect something, means to cut it in half. All right. So if you bisect an angle, you're cutting it in half. I'll write this. An angle bisector is a ray that divides an angle into two angles that are congruent. All right. And you see these little lines over here. Let me circle with the laser point. See these little lines over here? There's one on each angle. These are called arcs. They're kind of like tick marks from earlier. If you remember tick marks, that showed us that two segments were equal. These little arcs here mean that the two angles are congruent. They're the same measurement. If one of them is 20 degrees, the other one must be 20 degrees. So what do they say here? YW bisects. So here's YW going right through the middle. It bisects angle XYZ. It cuts it in half. So we have two congruent angles. Angle XYW is going to be congruent to angle ZYW. If one half is 20, the other half must also be 20 then. All right. So let's take a look. Last couple questions. QS bisects angle PQR. That means it cuts PQR in half. And PQS is 24 degrees. Find PQR. Okay. They already labeled the 24 degrees for us. Nice. PQR was bisected. That means if one half is 24, the other half must be 24. Now, careful. Measure of angle PQR. What they're asking for here is not 24. PQR is the entire angle. 24 plus 24. This is 48 degrees. Got to look closely at the angles. Are they asking for half or are they asking for the whole? In this case, they were asking for the whole. All right. VW bisects angle ABC and measure of angle ABC is 158. Find BDC. Dang, they didn't give us a diagram. We got to make our own. That's okay. Look, we can draw an angle. Let's draw angle ABC. 158 degrees. Pause for a sec. Think 158. That is an obtuse angle, right? Big angles. So I'm going to draw a nice big obtuse angle. A little something like that. How about? And this is A, V, C. It says the whole thing is 158 degrees. And VB bisects it. So here comes VB right through the middle, cutting it in half. Okay. Find BVC. BVC is this guy right here. Well, keep in mind, we got bisected. That means we were cut in half. One half is equal to the other half. So measure of angle BBC Just take the whole thing, 158, and divide it by 2. 158 divided by 2. This must be 79 degrees. Whole thing was 158, chopped it in half. All right, here we go. Finally, last question. BD bisects angle ABC. Find those three angles. Okay. Well, bisects. What does bisect mean? Bisect means cuts it in half. So one half must be the same as the other half. And in math, how do we show that two things are the same? What symbol do we use? We use the good old equal sign, right? Two things are the same. That means they are equal. Let's set these equal to each other. Negative 4x plus 33, 2x plus 81. And for one last time today, I want to pause the video, give you guys a couple of minutes. Go ahead, solve for x. Take that x, plug it back in. We want both halves and the whole. All right, couple minutes, and then we'll be pretty much finished here. All right, let's take a look at what we have here. Solving for x a little bit trickier than the last few. Let's see. I added 4x to each side. 2x plus 4x gave me a 6x minus 81 from each side. That gave me a negative 48. And so when I divide by 6, I do get a negative x, which might make some of you worried. That's okay. X can be negative. When we plug it back in, though, we should get a positive angle. In this class, you're never going to have a negative angle. All right. It's not going to happen. If you do, you must have goofed somewhere earlier. So when I plug that negative 8 back in, negative 4 times negative 8, that's a positive 32 plus 33 gives me 65. And you notice how once I find one of them is 65, I didn't show any work at all for the second one. Why? Because remember what bisect means, folks. Cut in half. If one of them is 65, the other one's got to be 65 as well. And together, ABC, that's both halves put together, 65, 65 makes 130. Fantastic work. Again, thanks for following along with the videos. I'm hoping to be back with you guys next time. Double check homework online, rest of class. Used to work on that, and I'll hopefully see you guys very soon. Take care, everybody.